welcome to the first episode of In Other Words of 2021 with Danielle and Zara.
And a happy new year to you.
Yay!
So, this is a podcast where we talk about a wide array of different subjects from sexuality to gender-based violence. So, in other words, we talk about all the things. And we also want to give a shout out to the Easy Slice. They're a bakery, local bakery place. We've had cupcakes from them, little cute Christmas cupcakes.
They were wonderful.
They were so good. I think they're situated in Durbanville,
Yes.
so check them out.
Yes. Awesome. So, it is 2021 when you're listening to this.
I can't believe it.
We are still in 2020 right now, so
Yeah.
if the tenses of what we're about to say seem a bit dodgy, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
But our hearts are in 2021 right now.
Yes, exactly.
So we're basically just going to do...
Yeah, so I think we want to just give like a 2020 overview,
Yes.
positives and negatives.
Yes.
And then we can get into the exciting stuff for 2021.
Yes.
So,
we are looking forward to it.
I think, shall we discuss our negatives
Yes.
first?
Let's
Get
start
that
with the
out
bad
way.
stuff. Get it out the way. Good old 2020.
Mm-hmm. So obviously the coronavirus was a big
What's that?
negative. COVID-19, we don't like her.
No. She
Yeah.
was a bit rude.
I think for everyone it was just created a very difficult time with all the lockdowns. Moving online was really difficult. Not being able to see friends was really difficult.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think something that I struggled with last year is just... I feel grateful that I didn't experience any hectic personal loss.
Yeah.
But like
same.
it was just a year of loss for so many people.
Mm.
Like I look at my family and my cousin, for example, she lost her cousin very suddenly, her grandfather very suddenly.
Mm.
And just seeing like literally millions of people like lose their jobs, lose their lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there was like, I know that this is not the right mentality, but a part of me was like, oh, it can't just be me, so these people don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, especially toward the end of the year, I just started to feel like the weight of everyone's loss. So
I totally get you. I think obviously loss has been a huge negative for so many people. I think another thing for me is that especially it was like more later into the year really, like when we started having class online and I had to move away from Stellenbosch, then I was kind of still like not in denial, but like it hadn't really hit yet. And then halfway through the year, like I almost got sense like I got hit with a sense of loss, and I feel like you almost had to mourn the things that you weren't going to get throughout the year. So like in the sense that like you knew you wouldn't be able to have, or so many people wouldn't be able to have like big 21st parties, or like you wouldn't be able to go overseas like you're planning to. Well, not me, because I wasn't planning on going overseas, but in the sense that you can't go and live life normally.
yeah, graduation, you didn't get a graduation
Exactly.
ceremony.
So that was quite bleak. But actually, what I forgot to say, just also linked to COVID, I think a big negative was just seeing the amount of like stupidity and fake news going around.
Oh my goodness.
I've never seen anything like it, and it just blew my mind.
Wow.
Yeah, I clearly do not know how to speak English.
No.
It blew my mind that people can just share things without like fact checking
Yeah.
or doing anything like that, and it was so draining actually having to see all these fake news posts, and like even if you point out to people like they literally don't care,
Yeah.
and I'm like
It was also like there was so much divisiveness. Like,
yeah, I hated it.
you think like the whole world is experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
And so yes, there's the sense of like we can all relate to each other, this coming together.
Mm.
But because like people are dumb, it's like some people were absolutely terrified. Some people were so reckless, and it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't exist. It was just like,
Exactly.
I don't know, everyone just argued.
And also just seeing the selfishness of some people. Like
Yeah.
some people literally didn't care. They're like, well, so it's like if I get it, then I'm not gonna die, so whatever.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's capitalism, individuality, culture for you.
So fun.
Love it.
And then I think we both experienced like a good amount of existential crises
Almost every
throughout
day.
the year.
This was crazy, actually.
Yeah, I think there were moments of like lows, because, and it was funny, I actually read Danielle a Bible verse, and it speaks about how as you increase in knowledge, you increase in sorrow.
Yeah.
Because
It's
I
so
feel like
true.
the more you know, the more you realize, wow, this world is flipping messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think just seeing like so many people suffer
Yeah.
and not being able to do anything about it
Mm.
really sucks.
Yeah, and I think, like, I think we said this in our favorites episode, because like we were talking about Parasite and Snowpiercer and all of that. Like those kinds of movies, and I mean, you like saw like similar themes like throughout the whole of social media.
Yeah.
Like it really makes you think of how like messed up the world is, but just the whole system that we're like under. And I also felt really like bleak a lot of the time, just thinking about like some of the issues that you just don't know how to fix, you know.
Yes.
Like when it comes to speaking about racism, when it comes to like homophobia, gender-based violence, abortion, even, like so many people are like have their like dead set opinions on so many things, and I'm just like, I don't know how to like fix anything, or like what do you do? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was actually a huge reason why we started the podcast and actually grew as friends, because it was like, wow, we both feel so like helpless.
Helpless.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to like obviously moving away from campus, I think quite a big negative was just like not being able to see friends, because I find often with friendships you have to like you're often just friends with someone because you see them.
Yeah.
And so I'm not the kind of person who will like speak a lot to you on like WhatsApp. I mean, like we speak quite a lot.
Me a lot on
but like
WhatsApp.
in general with my other friends, I'm friends with them because like we get on, but I don't really speak over WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I don't really speak to most people over WhatsApp. It's nothing
Even
personal.
me,
I
I
just feel
promise.
like it's just
Public
so much better.
announcement.
Yeah, it's just so much better to meet up. So not being able to do that, like, I mean, this is also a positive, but it really like forced me to really think about like what friendships do I value and what do I want to make work. So I've tried to talk more to people, but it was just really bleak not having that convenience.
Yeah. And then also going back to something that hit me hard, and like you'll know this, is yes, there was this George Floyd like incident in America, and I felt a lot of people were like, but it's in America, like, but it kind of, because of the media in America, kind of set the whole world on fire. And I started to deal with the issue of racism more personally, and like we'll talk about this in a future episode, but I started like looking back on my life and realizing how, just as a person of mixed race, how much it's actually affected me, more so than I even realized. So how much more must it be for people that have actually been oppressed, because I haven't been oppressed, you know. So I don't know, like, just it kind of breaks my heart, because I'm starting to realize I don't think we've come as far as we think we have.
No. And like, listen, like if you just look back historically, like we've come far, but people's attitudes have still remained the same. I think that's just been horrible to see, is people like generally dismissing how black people are feeling about something, or just being like blatantly ignorant and trying to be offensive in whatever way. Like I hate that. I said that in the first episode. I hate it when you like purposefully try to be offensive. That's just stupid to me. But yeah, I mean, you were speaking about the media now, and I think one of the negatives for me is that I just spend way too much time on social media.
Oh my goodness, my screen time has never looked as shocking as it does.
Yeah,
like
same.
2020 was
and obviously like in a way we're forced to be more on a screen because we moved online, which is another thing in itself. But being on social media can be really taxing.
It is literally the most draining thing.
Yep. And I found myself
but you fall into it.
I found myself on TikTok at the beginning of lockdown. I don't make videos, but I do watch it.
I didn't give into TikTok, but I gave into everything else.
It is I really enjoy it, but I find I just like scroll because that's just how it is. So like there's so much content out there, and I mean Instagram is the same. Really,
you didn't have like much, like you didn't have Wi-Fi in previous years. Well, not hectically, I don't know.
In Res,
yeah.
Well, actually, we got Wi-Fi in Res last year, but it was free this year, and then I had to move back home.
Well, you got free Wi-Fi anyway.
Exactly,
You're just
so it's all good. But yeah, I mean, social media I think can also be a positive thing in the sense that I think both of us became more informed about like world events.
Yes,
we both know way too much now about the US electoral system, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And then also you were speaking about how like friendships of convenience, I've also like felt the weight of not seeing friends, because whether you like it or not, like your friendships can take a back seat, or you're not as intentional. And I don't know, I think I've really, in certain friendships, it's been very, very difficult not being able to see people. So some relationships have grown like incredibly, but there have been others that have suffered. And I think that was really hard.
For sure. Do you have anything else to say?
Well, you said online, but I just want to reiterate that, because when you work for a church, you have meetings about meetings.
Love that.
So I was in a billion meetings, and then the only way we could do youth ministry was on like Zoom. So I was having personal mentee mentor meetings on Zoom. I was having big reach on Zoom. I was having small groups on Zoom, and then I was still having classes every single day. And so literally from morning to evening I sat in front of a computer,
and it's draining. Hey, you wouldn't think so.
I found it the most exhausting thing. Like I still find it exhausting to sit in front of my computer, and I loathe it, and I'm so grateful for it, but I'm also just like, it was so draining. And I found that even like in varsity I became so much less engaged. I was like the person in class who always had my hand up and always had questions, and on Zoom I literally got to a point where I switched my camera off and I was like there, but I wasn't there.
No, I felt exactly the same way, and it was really difficult to adjust to that. And I'm really hoping that we, at least like the honors group next year, can be on campus. But we'll see. Okay, moving into positives.
Yes, guys, that is enough of the complaining. I think we saw a lot of that, and we've had enough of it.
Everyone knows what we're talking about. We don't need to get into more of it.
And please like comment, let us know how the year was for you, what you struggled with. We really genuinely want to know.
For sure. I think one of the positives from this year is that I learned to be easy on myself. And like I said, well, I actually don't think this episode would have been out yet, but I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself, academically, etc. And this year really taught me that like everyone is struggling. You don't have to like push yourself to the max, because I mean it's a completely bizarre situation. Or like they had a name for it, unprecedented. It was unprecedented times. So naturally, like you have to be easy on yourself, and that's what I learned. And I mean, I had difficult days for sure. I was like, oh my word, I cannot get this thing done. Like I don't know what to do. I'm falling behind and everything. And I did fall behind multiple times, but it was fine.
And I've said this is the third episode I'm going to say this, but you come to your degree, girlfriend. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I think something that I actually spoke to our worship pastor about it, and I said like, what's been tough about this year is there's so much that I wanted to expose myself to, especially in terms of ministry, working for the church this year, and I didn't get to do that. And he said to me like, Zara, this is ministry. It is never what you expect it to be, and it's about loving people, loving God, and rolling with the punches. And that's literally what this year was. And so I think just getting that kind of exposure to ministry, and then also one of the girls I mentor, like the Lord really, really confirmed over 2020 that she needs to be in full-time ministry.
That's so exciting.
And for me, like I'm like,
yay,
wow. So shout out to Bridget. I'm super excited to be working with you this year, 2021.
Crazy. It's very exciting. And I think another thing this year taught me, and this was something I mentioned when I was speaking about friendship, but just learning to make time for people.
You made time for me.
I did. And I certainly haven't succeeded in all of my friendships because it's really difficult. People are busy. I'm busy, or sometimes you just like forget to communicate. But I think just learning to be intentional, and I don't really need to say much more than that.
Also, guys, I am technologically challenged. That is why we have graphic studios do everything for us.
Because shout out to graphic studios.
Yes, because we don't know how to do much. But I've learned a lot this year. Canva has been my savior
all the time.
And I think I've just become a lot more tech savvy. There's still so much I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff I've had to learn which I wouldn't have needed to learn in the past. So
for sure,
that was cool.
I think like probably one of the big positives is just learning to trust God's timing, and I think we both have that as a positive.
Big time.
But I think just learning to trust God in general is just so important. And you might think, like in previous years I've thought, yeah, I trust God, whatever.
Yeah.
But now like it really puts you to the test when you put in, like, when there are such unprecedented times. Because really, like, who would have thought that 2020 would be the year of a global pandemic? That's actually redundant. Pandemic means global. Anyway. But who would have thought that? And just all of your plans have just changed.
Yeah.
So learning to be like, you know what, whatever happens, and God is in control. And God's timing is the right timing for everything.
Amen.
Yeah.
I think also this year we've spent a lot of time with ourselves. Even everyone who lives with family and is around family, we've all had like these moments of needing to be by ourselves. And I've learnt a lot about myself. And there are two things, and it's self-love and self-forgiveness. And I don't mean in the like treat yourself,
take a bath.
Yeah. I feel like something I clicked for the first time this year is, in the Bible it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind and soul, and love others as you love yourself. Yeah. And I always got the love God, love others, but not the love yourself. And I've realized, like, I genuinely need to take care of myself, nurture me. Yeah. If I'm going to be able to have the capacity to love others.
100%. And also like just seeing yourself as the way God sees you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then also just forgiving myself. I think it goes back to, again, not being so hard on yourself. I've just had to let go of a lot of like the mistakes I've made. Because it's like you ask people for forgiveness, you ask God for forgiveness. But the reason that we get stuck in like bitterness or struggle is because we don't actually forgive ourselves. So I think I've forgiven myself for a lot this year that I needed to. So yeah.
I think another positive for me was actually being at home. And as much as I would have loved to stay on campus and have the university experience, being at home was actually nice.
You got to drink a lot more gin.
Yes. And I mean, I am privileged in the fact that I have a stable household, good relationship with my family.
Yeah, my heart really goes out to people who don't have that.
Yeah. And I was also like really lucky to have space during like the hard lockdown. But I think it also pushed me to take care of myself more as well, because I mean, when you at res, like, you're really just eating when you can, like if you have food, if you have money. And like I wasn't really exercising much in Stellenbosch at all, but this year has like pushed me to actually like start working out and eating more. And like I also faced struggles in that sense, in that I picked up weight, and I think most people did pick up weight because you're not doing your normal walking around. But then I could always force me to remember, like, Danielle, like in university you didn't eat much. Like, you're eating properly now, you're exercising, you're getting muscle. And I think that's an important thing that I had to go through. So
you look good, girl.
Thank you. So do you, of course.
Wow. I think also you said about trusting God, but also like you said that no one saw this pandemic coming, and no one did except for the Lord. And I actually read yesterday, well, it was yesterday was Christmas when we were recording this, and in one of the songs it said this is the year of the Lord. Yes. I realized, wow, this was like 2020 was the year of the Lord, 2021 is the year of the Lord.
Exactly.
Like God is in complete control.
Amen.
And everything that happened for a reason, and if God needed something to happen, it happened. And I look at like our friends Justin and Emma. I think it's so crazy because, just some context, they were living in South Africa and Emma lost her job, and they've always said they needed to move to England, and they just felt the Lord was saying like now is the time. And so they applied for visas, and Justin was looking for a job, etc. And I spoke to people and know of people who put their applications in like so long ago and still have not received anything back. They had everything sorted within 3 weeks. And then they booked their flight, and I think it was like 4 days before, it wasn't 4 days, it could have been like a whole week. They got to England, and then again we had this new wave or a new variant of COVID, and now no one's allowed to.
Like nobody wants South Africans anymore.
So just the fact that they made it there, like God like orchestrated everything. And so as much as this year was a mess, I truly believe that everything that he needed to happen and needed to accomplish, he did.
Sure.
So
yes, that's so
praise
true.
God.
I think another positive of this year is that it really taught me to time manage. And because you really like, I'm not saying there's no pressure, but like when you're doing class online, you don't have, and especially for me, because I didn't really have like live classes, they were mostly recorded. Like I had a few like meetings, but only 2 a week probably. So just the fact that I could do anything in my own time, which was a good thing, also a bad thing, but it was also like a good thing in the sense that I had to really figure out a schedule for myself. Like I decided, no, it's good for me to wake up early, get the classes done, and then I can move on to assignments or whatever. And that really worked out for me, so I'm really grateful that I learned to be able to do that. And also it just really taught me that I am capable of doing the things and getting through the year.
Amen.
And so are all of you.
Exactly. I think also a positive, I began to realize that people, you never really know how people are doing, and especially like people, like you said, we have friendships of convenience, but even before lockdown there were friendships that we didn't get to see people often, and I think I just learned that like we need to just be checking in on people.
Definitely.
And so I often say, if someone comes to my mind and I haven't seen them in years, whether we're friends or not, pray for them, and if I feel comfortable, then just drop them a message. And so even as you listening to this now, if someone popped into your head, drop them a message. And also just like really be caring for people, because everyone's fighting their own demons and their own battles.
So true.
Yes. Also, we love you, so if ever you feel like you just want to drop a message saying
saying whatever,
let us know.
I think quite a positive for both of us is that Hamilton was released.
You know, it wasn't supposed to be released, but because of the pandemic they were like, give people something.
It was truly amazing. Go watch go listen to our Hamilton episode. Truly mind-blowing. Like, I have not been the same.
No.
So
even her 21st, like all the speeches had Hamilton lines. Her parents sang a song from Hamilton. It was, one day that'll be on YouTube.
One day. Don't know about that.
Also, I think we did touch on this, but I'm so much more informed. I think I was forced to read the news more.
But
same. I'm so grateful, because I actually feel like I kind of know what's going on in the world, and I was very ignorant before. And my convictions and my opinions have been challenged, and I'm very grateful for that.
Same.
And I think that's what kind of kickstarted a podcast, which has been like truly one of the highlights of my year.
Same.
Also having an excuse to see you.
I know.
And Devin, but I will.
That's not important. Just kidding.
So just like being informed and being able to do this was really cool, and it's going to continue into 2021. Lucky you. I think this is probably also moving into like what I'm looking forward to for next year. But just the fact that, I mean, when this is released, it'll be this year. The fourth
is too much. It's too much. Anyway,
if you're listening to this, it should have come out on the 4th of Jan.
Crazy. Okay. But just the fact that Trump was not re-elected was so nice. And like, I'm sorry. If you're a Trump supporter, like, I'm sorry. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I do not have to hear about that man again.
Yes.
And I'm really hoping that...
I think let's make this the last episode that we utter his name.
We're not saying it again. But yay, Joe Biden. And no, we do not live in America. But yes, I am still excited about that, because I'm tired of America. I don't want to hear about something the president has done all the time.
This is true. Hopefully, like, Joe Biden will do what he needs to do, and we'll hear less of it.
Amen.
Okay, so now we've gone into things we're looking forward to. To be honest, before I even speak about what I'm looking forward to this year, 2021, I think it's important for all of us to go into this year with not like heavy expectations. Like, we just need to take things as they come, take it day by day. I think there's a lot of people that have moved into this year feeling super negative and super cynical, and I just want to let you guys know, like, if you're super cynical, that means you're alive. So just enjoy what comes.
Mm.
Just be grateful for what you do have.
Mm.
And yeah, this is going to be a good year. I'm not
Yeah.
saying the circumstances are going to be good because I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
And then also the people who think that or thought that at midnight
Yeah.
COVID was going to disappear.
It's still gonna be there. Don't be a fool.
Yeah.
I think like a trap that a lot of people fall into is that they think like, oh, as the new year comes and it's like a completely different time. But like time is linear. You know, it's just
Yeah.
one long timeline, and a year and a day or whatever, that's all like man-made. Time is
Yeah.
not real. I mean, it is, but it's not
You
really.
sound so philosophical. Time doesn't exist.
So yeah, just remember that it's up to you to make the changes that you want to see in your life.
Yeah.
Obviously up to God as well. But you don't have to like immediately, like from the 1st of January, be like, okay, well from now on I'm only eating this and I'm not eating that or whatever. And then like you failed it and it's like, oh well, can't do it again.
And
it's
now
up to you
it's
to change it.
The 4th of Jan, and if you've already failed, guess what? You can start again today.
Yeah, amazing. Just have realistic expectations for
I
yourself.
agree.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I am hopefully looking forward to this year is just hopefully like getting a little bit of sense of normality.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping to go back to campus, and we do have a flat next year. My cousin and I are living together in Stellenbosch, and it's a beautiful flat, so I'm really excited to live there. So I truly hope that we are able to do that, but I think we will go live there anyway, no matter what, because obviously we're paying. And then I'm also really excited to do my honors and just to get into that line of work. If you don't know, I'm doing my honors in international studies. Don't ask me the subjects because I literally always forget every single time someone asks, but I'm gonna Google it. And then I'm really excited for that.
Yes.
And hopefully getting to know more people, getting to do all that exciting research,
all the things,
knowing all the things.
I, on the opposite of that, I'm so glad that I'm not studying. I almost have my degree, and I'm so excited to not have that pressure, because I've always felt like, because since my degree I've always had a job. I've never done my degree without having a job at the same time. And so in everything that I've done, I feel like I've never been able to throw myself fully into that, because I've always had this like, I have an assignment coming up, I have something coming up, and so I'm just pumped to be a graduate and to throw my focus into other things.
And I mean, you're gonna be in the working world doing the
I
things.
am so excited. It's terrifying, because truly, like, I know that I have a job for the next 6 months, and then I have no idea what's coming after that, but I'm feeling like super excited. Like, I feel like I'm ready.
I think you are. You'll do just well.
Thank you. Just well.
Just
fantastic.
Just
Come
fantastic. I'm really excited for the new movies that'll hopefully be coming out this year, because obviously so many movies that were supposed to come out last year in 2020.
I'm not even a movie person, but I'm excited.
I'm so excited. You know, In the Heights, West Side Story, Black Widow.
Is The Little Mermaid coming out this year?
I think it might be 2022. I might be wrong though. Anyway, James Bond. Yeah, how could I forget?
Yes, with Rami.
Yes. I'm very excited.
I'm keen as well.
It'll be a good year for movies.
Guys, and I say I'm looking forward to this. Someone needs to hold me accountable, but if and when I get a job where I'm earning a proper salary, I'm still living at home, which means rent is not a thing.
Woohoo.
I hope.
Love
Please,
that.
Mom. When I actually get a job where I'm getting paid properly, guys, I'm starting dance classes. I don't even know if I can dance, but I'm starting, because
you can dance, I told you.
So I discovered dancing.
Yeah, that's true.
So yes, and then I'll be able to choreograph your wedding dance in a few years.
Exactly.
Watch your back.
Charleston.
Or a jive.
Another thing that I'm excited for this year is just hopefully a vaccine for COVID, which seems like a weird thing to get excited for.
No, it is.
But I think, first of all, like the scientific innovations that are happening are amazing. Like, it's quite a new form of vaccine, which is exciting, because then they can actually like look for other ways to cure those kinds of diseases, which is cool. Or not cure, but like prevent. And yeah, hopefully once again it can just bring things to a sense of normality again. And I truly hope that things will work out and that it'll be a good time.
We by no means think the vaccine is going to solve the world, but
No, but
It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And I think put a lot of people at ease, except the people that don't believe in vaccines.
Yeah. Do your research, please. Anyway, and then I think another thing that I'm like looking forward to is also just applying the lessons that I learned in 2020. Like we said, there were a bunch of things that we learned. So if I can just bring them into the new year, that would be good. And also just learning to take care of myself in terms of like exercising and working out. Like I said, that's something that I've gotten into this year. So I'm excited to like do it properly as well into the new year and get fit, you know? Get so strong and beat people up. Pa, pa, pa.
Wow. Cool. So 2021.
Yeah,
let's go.
Year. I'm so excited.
Send us your resolutions, what you learned. I'm very keen to like get to know our listeners.
I hardly have resolutions. I never like set resolutions
for myself.
That's okay,
because you don't want to set yourself up for. You want to be motivated, but you also don't want to set yourself up for disappointment.
But yeah, I think that's all we have to say.
Yes, I also just want to give a shout out to YBO, Your Brain On. They are the band that did our intro song and our outro song that you're about to hear. So definitely check them out.
Indeed. Okay. Thank you for listening.
Yes, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.